Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. How are you all doing? Good? Okay, so welcome to Swiflearn online classes. As you already know by now, what is Swiflearn? So the students who are new to me today in today's session, so for them, let me again introduce what is Swiflearn. So Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive class. So if you have any sort of doubt related to the topic, you can ask to the teacher in the classes only, and the teacher will explain everything to you in the classes, right? Secondly, we give the personalized attention to each and every students. जैसे क्योंकि हमारे batches में mostly 6 students रहता है, मतलब maximum 6 students. Okay, so it can be a batch of 1:1 or 1:2. So it totally depends upon you how you will choose your batch, and maximum 6 students रहता है, which will help the student also to ask their doubt to the teacher without any hesitation, and it will help the teacher also to clear all the doubt. There will be a very smooth class going on. Okay, now coming to the third thing, that is we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track how you are doing. So whether you are performing all the homework properly or not, you were doing the classwork or not, you were totally prepared with any topic or not, where you were lagging, so these will all be tracked, and accordingly you will get the feedback, and this feedback will definitely help you to understand where you were lagging. तो वो जब आपको मिल जाएगा तो you will be able to improve, है ना? चलो, so this is also very important. And fourth thing that is very very important, that is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. Whatever topic is coming to your school examination, we will do those topics first, and then we will move on to the rest of the topic. This type of custom request generally we handle, so it may happen all the time, sometime, sorry, that you are having some chapter which is different from what we are doing here. Just tell it to us, we will do those chapters first which are coming to your school exam, and then we will move on to the rest. Coming to our key features, why do you think this Swiflearn is totally different from any other online platform? So first of all, we maintain the detailed progress report of each and every student, और ये detailed progress report आपके पास चले जाएंगे with all the feedback, with all the tips and tricks how to improve your performance. ठीक है, और आपके स्कूल में भी जैसे आपको मिलते हैं प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, और उसके साथ साथ पीटीएम भी होता है, इधर भी होगा पीटीएम. हाँ, तो your parents will be able to interact with us directly, ठीक है, in the PTM, and if they also have to share anything, they can share with us. We are always there to help you out. Coming to the second thing, that the SAT which we have, that is the Swiflearn academic test series, which happen in every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can attend the test over there, and your rank will be given along with your name on our leaderboard. ठीक है. Coming to the third and the fourth most important thing, this is the practice. So as you already know that you have gone through a chapter through your textbook, the different notes which you were receiving from Swiflearn and all. So after that, what to do? After revising, you have to write the question answers, right? You have to practice the question answers. और question answers practice करने के लिए we have a lot of unlimited practice test. We have the assessment, mock test and so on. और हमारा इधर तो monthly test भी होता है, right? तो you can solve the question answer over there, both ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस आपको मिल जाएंगे. एंड इन केस ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन, जैसे आपके स्कूल में भी आते हैं, लाइक एमसीक्यू, ट्रू फॉल्स, फिलिंग द ब्लैंक्स, मैच द कॉलम, वन वर्ड, तो ये सारे क्वेश्चंस आपको मिल जाएंगे इधर प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट में. And the subjective answer is very important, because sometimes what happen na, you cannot get to know कि क्या लिखना चाहिए for a 3 mark question and for the same question when it is coming in 5 marks. तो क्या क्या ज़्यादा include करना होगा, where to include the diagram or chemical equation or graph or whatever it is, examples, and how to write the answer by making column when you were basically writing a difference between, in case of science I am telling. So this all tips and tricks you will get from us. While writing the subjective answer, you will be able to write it and submit to us. So we have a very good group of teacher who will check your answer and give you the feedback. ठीक है, तो वो फीडबैक से ही पता चल जाएंगे where you are lagging, and you will just improve that portion, and you will never lose any marks in the school exam as well as the board exam, right? So to get all these things, what you have to do, You have to book the trial class. तो हमारे सारे के सारे trial classes free of cost है. Anytime, whenever you are free, convenient for like convenient time पे आप book कर लो और आप देख लो कि कैसे हमारे classes होता है. And then enroll your name in our regular batches. And regular batches में तो हम already मिलेंगे every day, right? So we will discuss a lot of different types of topic in the regular batches. ठीक है? So before going to the topic, let me remind you who have not subscribed our channel till now, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. ठीक है? So you can share it with your friends also and do comment and like our sessions. So today I am with you to start with a new chapter which is there in ICSE board of class 10th syllabus. So you are in the board class, right? So you have to know about all the topics in detail. तो depth में आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा and for that we will start with a new topic that is the sense organs. अच्छा आप मुझे बता सकते हो कि what are the 5 main sense organs which we have? Quickly. Yes. So eyes, nose, ear, tongue and skin. These are the main 5 sense organs, right? So today basically we will discuss about the eye only. ठीक है? So what is the structure of the eye? What are the different parts which are coming under the eye? How can we see through with the help of the eye? And we will study about the power of accommodation and dark and light adaptation कि हम डार्क में नाइट में जब कोई लाइट उतना लाइट नहीं होता तब भी कैसे देख सकते हैं एंड ब्राइट लाइट में मतलब आप मान लो कि वेरी हॉट समर डेज एंड वेरी ब्राइट सनलाइट जब है तो तब भी हम कैसे देख सकते हैं that we will see how our eyes can adapt with the different situation and power of accommodation में हम देखेंगे कि how we can see an object which is very much far away from us and also the object which is very much near to us. ठीक है तो ये डिस्टेंस हम कैसे मेंटेन करते हैं हमारे आई कैसे इसको बैलेंस करके दोनों ही पास का भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स देख सकते हैं दूर का भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स देख सकते हैं right so these are the main things which we are going to discuss in today's session chalo so before going to start with the different parts of the eye let me first tell you what is the importance and why are we basically studying about the sense organs separately and that also you have got it in your board class है ना अभी बोर्ड में तो वैसे ही चैप्टर्स आना चाहिए जो बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे लाइफ के लिए तो इधर सेंस ऑर्गन का वैल्यू या फिर सेंस ऑर्गन्स इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है देखो एक सिचुएशन इधर दिया हुआ है he is Rahul and he is Rohan so Rahul is a blind child and he wants to cross the road so what will he do he will tell Rohan that please Rohan can you help me to cross the road now what will Rohan do Rohan will help and he says sure definitely I'll help you and come with me so वो राहुल को रोड बहुत अच्छे से क्रॉस कर दिया तो can you imagine that he cannot see and that is why it is how much difficult for Rahul to cross just a road जो हम रोज करते हैं हाँ तो if I think about the road if I don't talk about the road whatever you are doing at home तो आप बैठ के जो भी कर रहे हो पढ़ाई कर रहे हो लिख रहे हो you are going from one room to another you were looking at the different delicious dishes and you were eating you were choosing everything तो do you think a blind person will be able to do the same no because they do not have the eyesight and that is why they cannot do all these things they cannot see the wonderful colorful world around them है ना तो can you imagine now why this eye is such a important sense organ in our body yes so that is why you have to study about the delicate organ the most delicate organ we can see of our body that is nothing but the eye ठीक है so let's see what are present within the eyes so today we will learn about the eye and how this eye help us to see whatever we are looking around us ठीक है वो bright light में भी हम कैसे देख सकते हैं dark light में भी हम कैसे देख रहे हैं how can we see the nearer object like if I think about this pen and how can we see anything which is present outside my window ठीक है, तो ये कैसे हम देखते हैं, वी विल स्टडी दैट. So let me tell you, first is eye, that is the main sense organ which help us to see anything. ठीक है, तो सिर्फ लाइट होने से तो हम देख नहीं पाएंगे, तो लाइट एंड आई ये दोनों होना चाहिए एक साथ, देन ओनली वी विल बी एबल टू सी एनीथिंग. ठीक है, नाउ व्हाट इज द आई मेड अप ऑफ? We will see that. So before that, let me tell you, we can see a lot of different varieties of color. मतलब ये 10 millions of colors we can just classify and differentiate so that we can see the various things around us with a proper color. ठीक है, so it's beautiful, and let me go to the parts of the eye. So this is the total anatomy of the eye. Okay, so if we see anything inside the eye, we will be able to see first that the eye is covered with the three main coats. So please write it down. The three main coats of the eye are, number one is the sclera, and ये जो sclera है, sclera is the outermost coat which is present इधर से start होके एकदम इधर तक रहता है sclera. ठीक है, इधर तक रहता है sclera. So I can say if you just divide the eye, the total circumference of the eye into 6 main parts, तो 5/6 part रहता है आपका sclera, and just the front part जो है, just 1/6 part हम जो बोलेंगे, that 1/6 part is nothing but the cornea. Okay, so the outermost layer of our eyes is the sclera and the cornea. Cornea रहता है सामने, okay, and sclera रहता है पीछे, in the other, the behind that cornea. Got it? Second जो layer, middle layer जो रहता है just beneath the sclera, if we think about, this is the sclera. So just beneath the sclera, if we think the red colored portion, if you see this one, so this red colored portion is nothing but the choroid. Okay, this is nothing but the choroid. Got it? Sclera के नीचे choroid रहता है. The next layer. Third layer जो है, that is the innermost layer, that is our famous retina. You can see over here the pale yellow colored retina. This is the retina. Okay, so आप अगर इधर देखोगे, this is the red colored portion will be your choroid, and under this one, this yellow colored portion will be the retina. Okay, this is the screen where the main image will be formed, and this image will go through the optic nerve towards our brain, and then the brain will be able to process that कि हम क्या देख रहे हैं. It will tell it to you, and then only the image will be formed properly. You will be able to see, you will be able to recognize कि आप आपके सामने क्या देख रहे हो. Up to this much clear है ना? Yes. Now, so these are the three main coats or the layers which are surrounding the whole eye. Other than this, you can see that this is the biconvex lens. This is the oval lens, very important. Then the middle portion, बहुत छोटा सा एक middle portion है जिसको हम pupil कहते हैं. Next, the pupil के आसपास जो surrounding region रहता है, this is known as the iris. अच्छा, ये लेंस और कॉर्निया के बीच में ना एक चेम्बर रहता है, that is the anterior chamber, और इधर एक fluid रहता है which is known as aqueous humor, and another fluid which is present over here, that is the vitreous humor. Okay, अभी आपको vitreous देख रहे होंगे आप, तो vitreous humor कहते हैं इसको. Understood? Other than this, you already know this one is the optic nerve which is carrying the impulses towards the brain, and that brain will process and they will tell you what you were looking into. Straight जो आते हैं ना, from the pupil जो straight इधर आते हैं, this portion is basically known as the yellow spot, and the portion from where the middle portion from where the optic nerve is starting, इसको हम कहते हैं blind spot, जहां कोई भी image formation नहीं होता. Okay, so we will come to this yellow spot, blind spot later on. Let me start showing you what are their main function and where they are basically present. So before going to their function, let us see a 3D model of the eye. It's a beautiful model. It will help you to understand what is the positioning of the eye and what are the different parts which are present within the eyes. ठीक है ना? चलो. So you can see this is nothing but the brain. You already know. And brain के पीछे से ये जो आप देख रहे हो, this is nothing but the spinal cord. ठीक है? And if you see that some two different ball like things are coming out from the brain, you can see the optic nerve over here, है ना? तो brain के साथ वो जो attached है, you can see the optic nerve, and जो ball like structure coming out from the brain, attached with the brain, that organ is nothing but our eyes. Okay, now let us focus directly with the eye. Let us start with the different things which are present in the eye. So how many eyes are there? Two eyes. So ये एक eye है. We can see the external region of the eye, and this is the internal part. If we dissect it, we will be able to see the different parts of the eye. So the very first one, the convex lens, you can see this one is the lens. Second part, you can see just direct to the lens, और एक अगर आप straight line डालोगे from the lens to the retina, तो retina के ऊपर जो point आएगा, that is the macula lutea. We can also call it as the yellow spot, जहाँ सबसे prominent image formation होता है. Okay, you will be able to see the image which is formed over here will be totally like prominent image. ठीक है? Thirdly, you can see this is the optic nerve. Just below the yellow spot, it starts the optic nerve. और optic nerve क्या है? Basically, this optic nerve is carrying the impulses towards the brain. Can you see the attachment? है ना? This is the optic nerve. It is going and sending the different information towards the brain so that the brain can process everything. Right? So this is the optic nerve. Fourth is the retina. This total yellow colored layer जो innermost layer है, मैंने already बोल दिया आपको, this is the retina, and it acts as a screen जहाँ image formation होता है. Now, fifth, these are the ligaments which are basically attaching to the two ends of the lens, and they are basically holding the lens in a proper region. ठीक है? तो ऊपर भी है, नीचे भी है. With the suspended ligaments, there are the body like structure, the very thread like structure which are known as the ciliary body. Okay, so this contraction and relaxation of the ciliary body will help in the thickening and thinning of the lens, which will help to see any object which will be far away and nearby to you. Okay, so we will study how it will contract and relax and how we will be able to see the far object and the nearby object. Then is the choroid. So you already know what is the choroid. नेक्स्ट इज द स्क्लेरा. द आउटर मोस्ट रीजन इज द स्क्लेरा. उसके नीचे ही कोरॉइड है और उसके नीचे रेटिना है. Distinctively the three layers बहुत अच्छे से दिखाएं. So I hope that you have already understood this, right? And then is the cornea. Cornea मैंने already बोला कि sclera is starting from here. It is the back portion और इसका ही सामने जो portion है, a bulge like thing. This is nothing but the cornea. Then at the middle of the cornea there is the darkest portion, or we can say हम जब eyeball देखते हैं ना, if you see the eyeball in the mirror, you will be able to see एकदम middle portion में एक point जैसा रहता है, that is the black, the totally black in color, that is the pupil. And the pupil is surrounded by the iris. तो iris actually क्या होता है? This gives the different color to your eyeball. तो different color का eyeball होता है ना? Blue होता है, sometimes green, a little bit goldenish color, sometimes brown, light brown, dark brown, black. तो बहुत सारे color होता है हमारा eyes का. तो आई बॉल के कलर बेसिकली इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द आइरिस, उसके अंदर क्या पिगमेंट्स हैं उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है द कलर ऑफ आवर आई बॉल. Okay, so this is all about the main portion of the different parts of the eye. Got it, beta? Yes. Okay, let's move on to the slides now. So let us now see what are the different functions which are performed by all these parts of the eye. So first is nothing but the cornea. I have told you this cornea is the uh, सबसे सामने जो रहता है. So the first the light will enter through the cornea. Okay, it is a thin membrane, 1/6 part रहता है, and this is the outermost membrane of our eyes. उसके बाद जो रहता है the retina. This is the screen. वो जो हम जो भी देख रहे हैं ना, if we think that our eye is the natural camera, then whatever images are taken by the camera all are formed on the screen, that is the retina. ठीक है, so retina is a very important thing. So this retina basically contain the light sensitive cells, and this light sensitive cells help us to see a lot of varieties of color. It helps to see the different objects in the dim light, in the bright light, all. Okay, so we will see in detail what are basically present within the retina. Now let's move on to the iris. So have you ever seen the different color of the eyeballs? देखो, इसका eyeball है brown color का, इसका eyeball है blue color का. This is nothing but dependent upon the iris. So what are the different pigments which are present in the iris? कितना pigments रहता है? बहुत ज़्यादा बहुत कम. तो ये totally depend करते हैं. Like the pigments will be responsible for giving the color of the eye. ठीक है. Now just at the middle, can you see just at the center of the eyeball there is the black portion. This black portion is the pupil, which regulate and control the how much amount of light will get inside the eye. ठीक है, तो कितना amount of light. बहुत bright light अगर हो जाएंगे तो sometimes you feel pain in your eyes, pain, and that also goes to the headache, right? So it basically regulate how much amount of light will enter the eye and how much amount of light will not be allowed to enter. ठीक है, तो this is the main function of the pupil. Let's move on to the lens now. तो you already know कैमरा का भी लेंस होता है, right? तो आई का भी लेंस होता है. This is the convex lens. You can see biconvex to be very specific. ये jelly like materials, एक transparent materials होता है, and ये जब कार्व होता है या फिर it becomes thickening or thinning of the lens is totally dependent upon the ciliary muscle. So if you just see this picture carefully, so this is the lens, you know, and there are the ciliary body which are holding the lens properly from upward and from the downward also, so that the lens will be staying in a proper position, and the thickening and the thinning of the lens will be done by the contraction and relaxation of this ciliary muscle. ठीक है, तो कैसे ये होगा we will definitely see. Ciliary muscle, I have already said, these are above the lens and below the lens, and basically they help us to see the different objects in different distance by adjusting the focal length. ठीक है, the focal length which are present in between, the focal length हम जो बोल सकते हैं normally 2 centimeter 2 centimeter होता है, that is the in between the lens and the retina. तो over here you will be able to this is the focal length. तो ये focal length adjust करने में help करते हैं हमारा ciliary muscle. ठीक है, चलो. Next is the vitreous humor. It's a total jelly like fluid which gives a proper shape to the eye, ताकि eye का shape round से कोई like irregular shape ना हो जाए. So this fluid is present over here. आप देख रहे हो कि total orange colored fluid जो है इधर, the nerve impulses starting from here also, like they are giving the nutrients and all, oxygen supply भी इधर जाता है. You can see the different arteries and veins. Okay, So it basically gives the total shape of the eye. And another fluid, जैसे मैंने already बोला कि another fluid is also there, that is the aqueous humor. So aqueous humor is present in between the lens and the cornea. If I draw the lens, if this is the lens and this is the outermost region of the eye, that is the cornea. Okay, so here will be the pupil and all the different things are present. So over here there is a fluid. I'm just darkening the fluid. So this fluid in between the lens and the cornea is known as the aqueous humor. तो इसको aqueous humor क्यों कहते हैं? Aqueous से ही पता चल जाता है, मोस्टली इधर पानी प्रेजेंट है, वाटर. ओके, सो 99.9% ऑफ वाटर इज प्रेजेंट ओवर हियर. अदर देन दिस 0.1% का हमारा डिफरेंट शुगर, वाइटामिन, मिनरल्स, अदर डिफरेंट मिनरल्स, प्रोटीन्स, बहुत सारे डिफरेंट न्यूट्रिएंट्स रहता है. एंड दे बेसिकली गिव द नरिशमेंट टू द कॉर्निया एंड लेंस so that they will be healthy and also maintain a proper shape of the eye. Got it now? Yes. Now let's move on to the retina. So we have to focus on the retina because retina is the screen where the image will be formed. So the image of the object we are seeing is formed on the retina, as you already know, and it contains the several nerve cell. तो ये सारे जो nerve cell है, these are all present on the retina, and a sensation of the nerve cells are felt over here. And finally, the impulses are going through this optic nerve towards the brain. तो हम अगर अभी देखेंगे कि retina में क्या क्या nerve cells रहते हैं. So the nerve cells which are present in the retina, we can also call them as the receptor. ठीक है, because they are basically receiving the different images. Okay, now this photoreceptors हम कहेंगे इसको क्योंकि they are basically receiving the light. अगर light नहीं होगा तो we will not be able to see anything, है ना. So these photoreceptors which are receiving the lights, they help us to see all the different objects here in the presence of the light. So basically the two main types of photoreceptors are there. One is the rod cells and another one is the cone cells. So very important this portion is cone cells basically help us to see the different colors. ये जो varieties of colors हम इधर उधर देख रहे हैं, this is all because of the presence of the cone cells in our retina. And the rod cell basically help us in the dim light vision. ठीक है, your cone cells helps in the bright light vision. इसको हम photopic vision कहते हैं इसलिए क्योंकि they help us to see the different thing in the bright light. And rod cells help us to see during the night time in the dark room. So dim light vision में ये help करता है, and this type of vision is nothing but known as the scotopic vision. Okay, you have to remember these names. Up to this much clear है ना? Yes. Okay. So these are the two main cells which are present, photoreceptors or photoreceptor cells which are present in the retina. If you just see under the microscope, you will be able to see these cells. So you can see the rod cells. Its shape is just like a rod, and cone cells are like this, and you can see the three primary colors, right? The red, blue and green, these are the three primary colors. These are present in the cone cells which actually form the different millions and millions of colors which help us to see the billions of colors around us. Clear up to this much? Yes. Okay, great. So let me give you one fact that is very nice fact, that is cats and dogs do not see as many colors like us. Okay, but they have a wider field of vision during the night. वो रात में बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से देख सकते हैं. Why it's so? बिकॉज डिम लाइट विजन में कौन हेल्प करते हैं? रॉड सेल्स. तो उसके अंदर, उसके आईज के अंदर रॉड सेल्स सबसे ज्यादा है, एंड दैट हेल्प्स देम टू सी मोर ड्यूरिंग द नाइट टाइम. बट देयर आर lesser amount of cone cell, and that is why they cannot see that much amount of varieties of colors. Got it up to this much? Yes. Chalo. So the formation of the image takes place like this. If there is an apple in front of you, so it will go through the cornea, then the iris, it will go through the lens, and finally the image will be formed over here on the retina. और एकदम straight line अगर आप देखोगे तो the straight line is converging over here, which is the yellow spot. इधर सबसे prominent image formation होता है, and the image will be a real image, and because it is forming on the screen but inverted, है ना. So this inverted image will go through the optic nerve towards our brain will be able to see it and process it, and we will be able to see the image as a the object as a correct one, not the inverted, the straight one. ठीक है. Now I will tell you the trick how to remember कैसे ये light continuously fall करके जा रहे हैं towards our brain. So first it will enter through the cornea, then aqueous humor, then pupil, then the lens, then the vitreous humor, then retina, and finally the optic nerve. So how will you be able to learn it? You can learn with the help of this sentence that cornea ants prefer lovely violet roses, obviously. Okay, so like this, you will be able to remember that cornea, aqueous humor, pupil, lens, vitreous humor, retina, and optic nerve. Clear hai? This is the total pathway through which the light will enter in our eyes and go till the brain. Got it? Chalo. So now we will move on to the next portion of discussion, that how can we see the closer object as well as the objects which are far away from us, and what are the different parts of the eyes which are helping us to do that? Any idea? Yes. And is the eye lens is of fixed focal length, or we can just adjust the different focal length? Yes, let's see. Okay, chalo. So this adjustment or adjusting the focal length so that we can see the objects which are far away from us and also nearby to us is known as accommodation. So accommodation is nothing but the ability to adjust our focal length so that we can see all the objects properly. तो ये कैसे होगा? By the curvature of the lens, और ये curvature of the lens will be totally dependent upon the ciliary muscle. ओके तो हम अभी देखेंगे कि कैसे मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड रिलैक्सेशन होता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इफ यू ट्राई टू सी द फार अवे ऑब्जेक्ट, if you try to see the far away object, how will you see? The ciliary muscles will relax over here. The muscles, these are the ciliary muscles which will be relaxed, and that will help the lens to become thin, and this thinning of the lens will adjust, it will increase the focal length, and then only you will be able to see the object. The image will be formed on the retina and you will be able to see the object properly. And if the object is nearby to you, क्या होगा? Either the muscle will be contract, okay, the muscle contraction will take place, and with the muscle contraction what will happen? देखो अभी lens का diameter बढ़ गया. Okay, so the lens will become thicken. Okay, it will become thicker, and as it is becoming thicker, it will just decrease the focal length. You can see the decretion of the focal length over here, so that you will be able to see the nearby object. अभी मैं एक बात बताऊंगी कि नियर बाय ऑब्जेक्ट देखने का भी एक लिमिट होता है. कितना नियर बाय ऑब्जेक्ट आप देख सकते हो नॉर्मली? दैट इज द नियर पॉइंट ऑफ आवर आई, दैट इज नथिंग बट 25 सेंटीमीटर. तो एटलीस्ट 25 सेंटीमीटर में आप अगर आपके सामने कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रखोगे तो बहुत अच्छे से आप देख सकते हो. बट इफ आई थिंक अबाउट द फार अवे ऑब्जेक्ट, तो फार पॉइंट ऑफ आवर आईज इज इंफिनिटी. ओके, तो जितना भी दूर तक आपका जा सकते हैं आपका विजन, तो you will be able to see that. Okay, so always remember, near point of our eyes is 25 centimeter and far point of our eyes is infinity. ठीक है? And nearby object, far away object is totally dependent upon the contraction and relaxation of the ciliary muscle, which will help in thickening and thinning of the lens. Now let's move on to the yellow spot. मैंने already आपको बोला कि yellow spot क्या है. It is the size of 1.5 millimeter, and it is the It is just a point which is present on the retina. ठीक है? But the back side of the retina, where I am just pointing over here. So if you just draw a straight line from here, from the pupil, the middle of the pupil till the retina, so you will be able to find that this spot on the retina is the yellow spot. Okay, ये yellow spot को हम macula lutea भी कहते हैं. And here the clearness, it will give you the highest clearness of any object. सबसे अच्छा object आपको इधर मिलेगा. ओके मतलब इमेज सबसे अच्छा इधर मिलेगा. फाइन. एंड व्हाट अबाउट द ब्लाइंड स्पॉट? ब्लाइंड स्पॉट वो होता है विच स्टार्ट्स इन फ्रॉम द मिडल ऑफ द ऑप्टिक नर्व. अगर ये होगा आपका आई, so this is the optic nerve. So at the middle of the optic nerve there is no rod cells and cone cells, and the retina will be discontinuous over here, and that spot is known as nothing but the blind spot, because there is no image formation takes place due to the lack of the light or lack of the photoreceptor cells. No image will be formed on the blind spot. Clear है blind spot और yellow spot क्या है? Okay, if you get any difference between blind spot and yellow spot, I hope that you will be able to write it, right? So let's summarize whatever we have studied till now. Let's see what they are saying about the structure of the eye.
The human eye is a wonderful feat of evolution. We can see tiny specks and huge mountains. We can see in the dark, and we can also see hundreds of shades of bright, vibrant colours. So how does the eye work? The eye contains special cells that receive the incoming light energy and convert it into electrical impulses. These electrical impulses are then relayed along the optic nerve to our brain. So let's have a look at the special parts of the eye that enable us to see. The cornea covers the entire front part of the eye. It is convex shaped, and so it bends or refracts incoming light into the lens. The lens is a transparent biconvex flexible structure that focuses light into the retina. If we want to see something close, the lens is made to be thicker, and when we want to see something further away, the lens is made to be thinner. These changes increase or decrease the refraction of incoming light onto the retina. Changing the thickness and curvature of the lens is done by the ciliary muscle contracting and relaxing, which are connected to the lens by suspensory ligaments. The iris is the coloured part of the eye. It is the muscular structure that regulates the size of the pupil, the black opening in the middle of our eyes that controls the amount of light that enters the eye. The iris does this by expanding or contracting, depending upon the amount of light present in our surroundings. When there is a lot of light, the iris expands so the pupil becomes smaller, and so less light will enter. When there is less light, the iris contracts, making the pupil larger so more light can enter. The colour of our iris depends on how much protein, called melanin, is present, and is determined by our genetics. Brown-eyed individuals have more melanin, whereas blue-eyed individuals have less. So light enters the eye through the cornea and passes through the pupil onto the lens. The lens refracts light through the vitreous humour to the retina. The retina at the back of the eye contains a thin lining of special cells called photoreceptor cells. There are two types of photoreceptor cells, the rod cells and the cone cells. They have distinctive shapes and are sensitive to different kinds of light. We have approximately 120 million rod cells, which allow us to see black, white and shades of grey. The rods enable us to determine the shape of objects. As rods are sensitive to reduced light, they provide us with night vision, and so nocturnal animals have lots of rods. Our 7 million cone cells specifically allow us to see colour. Although these cells can only differentiate between red, green and blue, they all work together so we can see hundreds of different shades of colour. In general, the more cones per unit area of the retina, the finer the detail that can be seen. Where the optic nerve connects to the eye, there are no rod or cone cells. This is known as the blind spot. When light enters the eye, it passes through the cornea, through the pupil, and refracts through the lens, across the vitreous humor, and focuses an image onto the retina. Light-sensitive rods and cones react to specific wavelengths of light and trigger nerve impulses. These impulses are carried through the optic nerve to the visual centers of the brain, where the impulses are organized and interpreted to give us sight as we know it. So there we have the different parts of the eye and how they work together to give us sight. Give these questions a go to test your knowledge. Did you get them right?
If you liked the video, give it a
Yes, so you have already understood, I hope, that all the different parts of the eyes and what are their main functions, right? Now, have you ever observed that when you are going into a dark room or from dark room to a bright light, so what basically you sometimes for the very first few seconds you will your eyes will not be able to adjust in the bright light or a sudden dark room, right? The dark light. Uh, so how does it happen? And after some time, you can see that your eye will be adjusted with the amount of light which is present within the room, and you will be able to see all the different things which are present around you. तो कैसे होता है ये? Yes, let's see that. So इसको हम कहते हैं light adaptation and dark adaptation. तो light adaptation में क्या होता है? When you are basically moving from a dark room to the bright room or a bright light room or lighted area, तो क्या होगा? First you generally momentarily आप like it dazzles us, right? And you will be able not be able to see everything perfectly around you. Yes, you sometimes like rub your eyes also, right, to see everything what is present. तो क्यों होता है ये? Because rod cells and cone cells which are both stimulated over here when you are going out, क्योंकि cone cells will help you to see the varieties of the color, and this cone cell, always remember, this also help you to see in the bright light, right? They will give the signals and then only it will help to flash and like give the cone cells to adjust with your eyes, and it will help you to see whatever is present around it, and you will be able to see that. Okay, now just the opposite case if it happens like you are going from the bright light area and just inside a dark room for the very first few seconds you will not be able to see everything properly. Your eyes will get adjusted with the low density intensity of the light, and then you will be able to see everything properly, right? How it is happened? It is happening because the rod cells will now become active and it will be bleached out, and finally it will become help you to see properly. Okay, so this is known as the light adaptation and the dark adaptation, which will help you to see in the bright light and the dark light when you are going suddenly towards this region. So, why do we have two eyes, do you think? Why not just one will serve all the purposes? Any idea? Yes. So, if we have the one eye, then we will be able to see anything, whatever around us, 150 degree में जो भी है. Okay, and a flat vision will be there. But if you see through to both the eyes, we will get a 3D vision, and 180 degree हम देख सकते हैं. Okay, so our eyes can live even after our death. You already know about the donation of the eye. So no, eye हम donate कर सकते when anybody is dying. After death हम donate कर सकते हैं to a blind person, so it is a very good idea, but currently no way to totally transplant the whole entire eye. Only जो part हमारे eye का transplant होता है with the like ophthalmologist जो करते हैं, that is the cornea. Okay, the cornea can be only uh, given to the patient. Now, which part of the eye is grafted in a needy patient from the donated eye? Quickly tell me. Yes, it's the cornea, right? Just now we have seen. Second, the region in the eye where the rod and cone cells are present. Yes, these are the photoreceptors which are present in the retina. Okay. Coming to the third one, what do you mean by yellow spot? It is the spot which is present on the retina which help us to see everything very clearly, most clearly. Okay. Next is light adjustment kya hai? Light adjustment is nothing. When you are going from the dark region to the bright light, then what will happen? You will not be able to see something at the first few seconds, but your cone cells will be adjusting inside your eye so that you will be able to see everything. That adjustment is known as the light adjustment. Next, what do you mean by receptors? ये तो वर्ड से ही पता चल जाता है कि कुछ ना कुछ तो रिसीव कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो रिसेप्टर्स, इफ वी थिंक अबाउट द आईज, तो दे आर प्रेजेंट ऑन द रेटिना विच आर बेसिकली रिसीविंग द डिफरेंट स्टिम्युलस, मतलब जो डिफरेंट लाइज वो रिसीव कर रहे हैं एंड इट विल सेंड इट टुवर्ड्स आवर ब्रेन, right? So that's all for today. We have already studied about the eyes and their parts, the parts of the eye, how we can see the different object nearby and far away, and how we can see the different object in very bright light and dim light, right? So adaptation we also have studied. So let it be up to this much. Thank you very much for staying with me till the end of the session. We will again meet in the next session, and before going, let me again remind you to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming session. So till then, bye bye, and do not forget to like, comment and share also. Bye bye. Take care.